Hello everyone and welcome to Unicorn Light Tarot. Sincerely hope everybody is doing amazingly well today. I don't know if you can hear, but the church in the background in Santa Fe is doing their church bells right now, which is absolutely perfect because today we are delving into what angelic or spiritual tests are you overcoming or have overcome. And that's what we're doing today. So if you are brand new and you've just clicked on and this is the first time you are here, welcome. And for those of you who have been here for a while or are new subscribers, obviously welcome one and all. So yeah, we will be doing what angelic or spiritual tests are you overcoming, and we will be channeling Archangel Raphael, one of my favorite beautiful angels for healing and support. So he will be with us today. Now, as always, we have three different ways you can go. Three piles. The first pile has obviously the blue. I was going to say ribbon, but that's not true. Blue feather, and then we have red feather on pile 2, and then we have yellow feather on pile 3. As always, take as much time as you need. The more aligned you are with your own soul, the more these readings resonate, because it's really just resonating with your higher self. So if you need to go ahead and pause the video, feel free to do that. A little meditation, whatever it is that you do to come back to your heart center. Look after yourself always. The timestamps will be down below whenever you resume back and hit that play button again. And for those of you who are still here, let's just take a breath in and hold it for a couple of seconds, and as we breathe out, let's just breathe out all of our concerns. They do not apply here. You're welcome to pick them up the minute this reading is over, but the more aligned again you are with your own soul, these are much better readings for you, just to get back into you. And who doesn't want to get back to themselves for 15 minutes, even if they have to pick up their worries a little bit later on? But hopefully you won't need to do that either. So let's go ahead and move these aside for now. So if you chose pile 1 and you chose the blue ribbon, I keep saying that, the blue feather, then this is your reading with Archangel Raphael. What angelic or spiritual tests are you overcoming? So let's get into that first. And some of you may have overcome them already, but we're still going to give you some information about what that pertains to and how that works within your life. And as always, we'll give you as much information as humanly or psychically possible. So let's get right into your reading. We're going to start off with actually our tarot, Unicorn Tarot, and then we have an oracle card. So let's see, the Chariot and 6 of Pentacles here. Let's give you a little bit of this. Okay, so let's see what this says. Welcome to the Divine Masculine. Interesting. Okay, so what angelic or spiritual tests are you overcoming? So welcome to the Divine Masculine. So there's a few different things, there's a few different layers going on. Of course, these are general readings, so they are going to resonate with everybody a little bit differently. But one of the angelic tests or spiritual tests is not honing in necessarily on your beliefs or honing in on your beautiful truths and your talents. It's about putting them out there. Now, many of you know that you're talented, but it's about putting them out there and putting them out there in a very specific way, in a trusting way. And also the way in which you move forward is a little bit different for each and every one of you. So in past lives, for a lot of you, your voice was held back for some reason. Now, for some of you, very specifically seeing that even though you are articulate and you were intelligent in past lives, and this is very, very clear, even though it's a past life and can't be proved, but see if this resonates with you. Even though you were articulate and you were brilliant, you were couldn't be above your station. So it wasn't applicable for you to have the kind of information that you had, to be as intelligent as you were, for whatever reason outside of your station. Maybe you know, you were poor or whatever. It doesn't really matter what it is. You had this incredible amount of intelligence, but because of your station in life, you weren't sort of revered the way in which you could have been. In fact, a lot of people could have said to you, you know, don't get above your station. Don't get above the station. Who do you think you are? Now, you could have been very firmly or fiercely educated as a woman in a previous life, and it wasn't seen ladylike for you to have that kind of wisdom or that kind of intelligence, right? So again, it'll be a myriad of different ways to be able to see this, but if this resonates with you, there will be an aspect of your life in this lifetime where this would have been mirrored. So in some way or form, you would have been told that you were getting above yourself, above your station, or who do you think you are? Now, it may have come from society, from friends, even from family, one way or another. But this would have been mirrored in your existence growing up one way or another, because it would have been echoed from past lives. Now, a lot of this is you stepping into your truth in this lifetime and taking whatever you knew, whatever wisdom you had was valid even back then, regardless of how you were treated for having it or possessing it. So in this lifetime, you are here to put out that wisdom into the world, but it's about you stepping up into that action into this world. And for you, that could have caused you a myriad of different kind of versions of anxiety. So for some of you, putting out your truth could have meant that there will be some kind of repercussions, and in really, really visceral terms. Some of you may have felt as though you could have been hunted down or blacklisted, or something really, really random and quite harsh for putting out your truth. Now, these are echoes from previous lifetimes, but they've come up in this lifetime, and they're still relevant because you still feel them. However, they're only echoes and you're moving through them. This is what you're doing. So for you, it's a matter of really, truly believing in what you are here to do, believing in your path, believing in your mission. Now, most of you do believe in your mission, and most of you have at least come to the terms of knowing that what you say is worthy of an audience. And when you step into the role of leadership, you deserve to be there. Most of you have worked through all of that. It's about getting to the next step and moving into the life that you want, and keep seeing the central role, being your own protagonist in your own life movie, right? And the way in which you've done this may have been like 5 steps forward, 2 steps backwards, putting out your truth, seeing how people reacting to it, coming back a little bit into your shell, or putting some sort of investment, usually like a spiritual investment into something that you believe in, but also having a little bit of apprehension. And then when it sort of falls short a little bit, there's a little bit of disappointment. But it's all about really going for it and moving forward, and also moving through these understandings of inadequacy. Now, some of you may have these feelings of inadequacy, but they've been projected upon you again from past lives, but they're echoed in this lifetime. It's for you to claim them, and also for you to realize that the people who have projected upon you and said, who are you? Who do you think you are? Those are the very same attitudes of people that were trying to pull you back before in many lifetimes, or in different existences in this lifetime. You may have had this before, where you excelled somewhere, either in school or you excelled somewhere in your job, and you were noticed and other people tried to pull you back. Or who are you? You've only just been here, not trying to take our jobs, but, whatever it is, like trying to pull you back from success one way or another. So for you in this lifetime, it's definitely letting go and cutting the cords from your past life, but also stepping into that real understanding of who you are and the fact that you deserve to be here, honing in and owning your own truth and what it is that you're supposed to do on this special path. And part of that is really understanding that whatever schooling you have or whatever you've done is enough. For some of you, you've gone out to get degrees, you've done this course, you've done this, and it's all about trying to prove that you are enough for what you want. And this again can be echoed from past lives. This is about you stepping into that energy of, you know what, no, I don't need to prove myself. And honestly, just the fact that you have enough experience, you've gone through so much in this lifetime, and you've taken notes one way or another, from the outside looking in. So whatever it is that you do and whatever you truly step into, you only really step into that path if you truly believe that you can take on that role. That's not to say that you've never been in a situation where you're like, all right, I think I'm a little over my head, but you rock that situation pretty quickly. So you are qualified, whether you believe it or not at the very beginning, but then you very quickly prove to yourself that you are qualified. You are very qualified for everything that you've stepped into in this lifetime, but there's a part of you that's felt as though you've had to prove that, and some of you have actually proved it through certificates, through this, through that, and some of you are rather quite unconventional. And even if you are quite unconventional or outside of the box in how you think about or how you approach standardized education, which is perfectly normal for you, you still may have gone back and gotten that course or done this or done that for the certificate. But the funny thing is with you, you won't display those certificates because you're not really into the certificates, because there's something else driving you. So you're not the sort of person that, if somebody comes over to your house, you've got all these certificates up on your wall. That's not you. But you may have them somewhere. You'll keep them. You just won't display them. It's not that you're not proud of them, but you're doing this for a different reason. So for you, it's overcoming this feeling of inadequacy that was projected upon you from the beginning. But the projection was very, very strong, and it left a firm echo, a residual feeling in and around your soul. This is something that you needed to step into, but it was important for you to step into, because as you did that, you claimed your divine masculine, and you're claiming your voice. This is your moment to say, I am here, I am doing this. And it's not that you were a pushover before. You weren't. In many ways, you could really not be, regardless of your stature in previous lifetimes. And again, for each and every one of you, it'll be slightly different. But regardless of your stature in previous lifetimes, you still couldn't be controlled, even though people said, you're not qualified for this, or, this is outside of your domain, this, that, and the other. You still would have stepped into that role. You could not be dumbed down. So there's an essence of that fire in you that still exists in this lifetime. Of course it is, but that fire needed to be brought out and honed in on and absolutely claimed in a very, very visceral sense from you before you move into the life that you want, before you claim the life that you want. And it was important for you to claim it before any of this real success came into your life. So you've had various different successes. You've tried a lot of things on. Some things worked out, some things didn't. And that's part of the experience. You're all about the experience. There's nothing wrong with that. But the level of success that you are reaching for, that you're absolutely ready for, first of all, cannot be proved. You're ready for it. There's no two ways about it. But you needed to claim who you are before you move into that level of success. Because if you had not done that before, whatever success that would have been garnered upon you would have had such a weak foundation. It wouldn't have meant anything to you. You would have wanted more success to prove, more success, more success, more money, more money, more money, just to prove. It would have been this sort of bottomless pit. So it came to this where you just get to say, I am here, I am worthy, I am claiming this. If you need to cut the cords from the residual energy from your past lives, and again, if you're resonating with this, you know where this comes from in past lives, and you can probably pinpoint exactly one way or another. And there's been various different past lives. Many of you have had many different past lives where you've been incarnated in with this incredible knowledge and this incredible magic, but it was either taken from you, or you were not allowed to practice it, or again, various different reasons. Above your station, trying to act above your station, right? So in this lifetime too, You're not about anybody who looks down on anyone else. You're for the underdog. If somebody is trying to treat somebody differently because of money or this, that, and the other, you definitely look down on it. You have, I mean, there's like this boiling in your soul for it. So there's this justice for the underdog in this lifetime, and that's garnered from your passion of being treated like that yourself, you know. And also there's this beautiful sense of really understanding, and not a lot of people do that in the modern world, but I think we're getting to the point where we can really move through this. But a lot of people tend to not just judge people, but they tend to see filter everybody else's experience through their own experience and not allow the other person to have their own experience. And that's a very sad thing, because we miss out on people's stories, how they're supposed to be told, because well, that didn't happen like that. I don't believe, you know, that's not what the world is, you know, because we're always seeing it from our point of view. This is something you don't do. You're an avid listener. You really listen to people. You really listen to their stories, and you take it upon yourself to really understand where they're coming from without you filtering in where you think they should be coming from. So you're an excellent storyteller. You're a brilliant creative person. You also, when you infuse that with your beautiful magic that has been really processed from many, many different past lives, coupled with you coming in with this opportunity of absolutely claiming your voice and saying F you to anybody that doesn't let you have it, then there's this incredible strength that you have, not just for yourself, but for others who have been felt this way or been treated this way too in this lifetime. So let's get you some more information here. So that's the opportunity for soul growth, for you to actually claim who you are, to claim your truth, and to claim your voice gives you the strength to move forward, not only to put yourself forward and to put your own truth forward, but to actually sort of be a shield for others who are trying to do the same. So, and this could not really have been done. You see, this is how whether the higher self and the angelic tests come in. This could not have really been done if you did not have everything fused together to the boiling point of you saying, I renounce this. I renounce anybody not taking me seriously. I'm taking myself seriously. I'm doing this for me. This is all about me. I am owed this. I am owed my truth. I'm not letting anybody stand in my way. It was really important for you to do that. Many of you have done that, so you're moving on the other side of that now. But if you haven't done that yet, you'll feel that boiling up, coming in. And once you do that and you claim yourself, you claim your soul, what you do is you claim all the existences that you had before where you were not heard in the way that you should have been heard. And it could have been very dangerous, because the information that you had in past lives could have saved other people, could have really helped out, and they purposely dumbed it down just because you were not quote unquote of the station. You know, it wasn't appropriate. So there is this real deep seething. Listen to me. I know what I'm talking about, because, you know, in the past, you know, people could have been hurt by not listening to you, and the reason why was absolutely ridiculous. So a lot of you don't have a lot of respect for rules. A lot of you don't have a lot of respect for this, that, the patriarch. I mean, who does? But you really, really don't. And there's a reason why, because it doesn't make any sense to you. But still, there was an essence of you that still needed to try and prove. Again, I'm doing this. I'm going to get this. I'm going to get this certificate. But again, you know, the certificate itself, what it's printed on is nothing. Even money doesn't mean anything to you. It's printed money. I mean, you have that ethereal sense to you, but at the same time, you're of this world, this human existence. So putting that your 2 feet on the ground, saying, well, actually, if I do have money, I can do some great stuff with it. So reacclimating in this lifetime and figuring out what it is that you do want based on this foundation of F you, I'm doing it my way. I am absolutely worthy. And not pulling in any identifying points from other people, not waiting for any kind of validation. And it's, you know, it's kind of strange, because even though there was an aspect of you that was looking for some kind of validation, you didn't even respect the validation when you got it. Because occasionally you did get the validation. Oh, you're great at this. You're wonderful at that. And then you'd be like, yeah, I know. So whatever you were seeking, it was never going to be enough. It was always about you putting your 2 feet on the ground saying, I don't need anybody to tell me. I already know I'm worthy. That's it. I'm worthy. I don't need to prove myself by doing this. I've got this. And once you have that attitude and you take it out, even to the forest, and scream it out, I am here and I'm not going anywhere. Once you do that, everything you touch turns to gold. So let's get you a little bit more information here. First of all, we've got a little bit of healing around this for Archangel Raphael too, moving in around you for any of that remnants or the echoes from those past lives, which again would have, would have reverberated in this lifetime too. So they would have been mirrored in this lifetime one way or another. And it could even have been family saying, who do you think you are one way or another? I know I had that in my family, my immigrant parents, getting above your station. What is it? Crabs in a bucket. So I know that's definitely happened to me. So, and they're not bad people. In a way, they're trying to prepare you for the world. Whatever it is that they say they're doing, regardless, it could have happened from family, or it could have just been reflected in situations that you attracted to yourself in order for you to get this momentum of you. But it was always about you claiming you. So let's see what we have here. Passion. Archangel Haniel. Trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life and career. So this is all about you taking that beautiful energy of passion and again, putting it all into you, putting it all into what you believe, putting it all into, and again, your belief is universal truth. You're here to be of service. Everything else is inconsequential. Now you'll have the success, you'll have everything else that goes along with it, but you are here to claim to be that success, to be that source of inspiration for other people that you were never allowed to be. So it's been welling up inside of you for many, many lifetimes. So, and it could have transpired as anger, as all sorts of things, but you're taking that, because you're alchemists, Pawan, you're taking that alchemy, you're transmuting it, you're turning it into passion. And once you declare, and the way in which you declare is a personal, private matter between you and your God, between you and your guides, however you see it, between you and your higher self, because it's all one and the same. Once you declare it, notice how your life changes. So if you're on this precipice, but you haven't done this, you do a ritual ceremony, just claim it any way that you want. And we have the clairvoyance here, Archangel Raphael. I'm helping you in your spiritual sight to awaken fully so you can clearly see heavenly love. And that's a thing in the past too, with this sort of reclaiming of self. There was a part of you that was disconnected, not through your own fault, but the way in which people treated you. You could have disconnected yourself from source. You could have disconnected yourself from the universe that way, and maybe lost trust with the universe, certainly lost trust in yourself. So once that energy is cleared, those cords are cut. You stand in your own energy and your own truth. You stand in your own beauty, and you can reclaim it. And instantly you will see how you start working with your higher self, how you start healing from your past, how you start working with your environment, and how everything starts changing. So, and your gifts are clearer, the way in which, your passion will be clearer. Everything, every baby step you're supposed to take will be a lot clearer. For those of you who have been feeling the chaos and feeling like something's coming in, but not any clarity about which way to move, this will all be cleared up by reclaiming your voice and your center, which is a long time coming. So let's get you one more here. So we're sending you out some healing from Archangel. All of the archangels are here, definitely Archangel Michael, but Archangel Raphael too, for any of that residual energy that you've had before, sending so much love for you. And if you need help cutting those cords, they can do that for you too. Remember to pull the cords completely so they don't grow back. But most of those will be cut when you, however you do it, again, reclaim that voice, and it's going to be absolutely beautiful. My goodness, just as we said that, energy from the outside. That is so funny. Just when we said that, that was huge thunder, and now we have like, yeah, Okay, well, that's all for you, pile one. Refreshing oasis, nurture yourself, gather your strength. Absolutely. So nurturing yourself once you claim your voice, gathering your strength. Strength will come naturally. Your energy will be so much more yourself after you reclaim your voice, because before it's out there several different ways. Your energy was always leaking out of you. So you naturally have a lot of energy and a lot of passion, but it can be taken from you because your energy can be all over the place in this proving mode. But that's the thing about reclaiming your energy. Everything gets centered back into line. So you're able to nurture yourself. Your energy will be different. Also, your sleeping patterns might change. Everything is going to shift here. So remember to nurture yourself as you do this and allow these shifts to change and all of the universe to come in to start working with you in a completely different way. This is a very exciting, beautiful way. This is like a huge thunderstorm that's coming in. We had the church bells coming in right at the beginning, and then we had this. So if that is not validation for you, for angelic forces and the universe being in and around you for cleansing, I don't know what is. So this is your reading, pile one. Go get yourself, whether you've actually physically gone out there and said, this is it, I'm reclaiming my voice, or you are ready to do that. We are supporting you for exactly who you are and exactly where you are in the world right now. Sending you so much unicorn love. You stay safe and sane. And until we meet again, bye-bye. Okay, my lovelies, this is your pile two. If you chose the red feather, excuses for, well, can't really excuse Mother Nature, but we just had a little thunderstorm that came in. We are in monsoon season here in Santa Fe, so excuses for, apologies for that in the background, but I cannot turn off Mother Nature, and I do need to get on with your reading. So we are doing what angelic or spiritual tests are you overcoming, or have you overcome, but we're going to give you some more support about that. And we also have some healing coming in with channeling Archangel Raphael too. So opportunities for soul growth. How have you been strengthened by these opportunities? All of that. So we're going to start off with our beautiful unicorn tarot here, and then we also have a little oracle card, and then of course, as usual, we will be stepping into more oracles. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's some serious thunder. Okay, well, this is cleansing. It's all good. So let's get right into your reading. It's just gotten all of a sudden very witchy here. So you've got the Three of Cups and you've got the Ace of Rods. I love that. Ace of Wands there. Let's see what we have here for you too. Sacred Mirrors. All right. So pile two. Let's see. Angelic tests, spiritual tests are you overcoming? Okay. So all right, so there's a few different things going on here. So the main test that I'm picking up here is for you to be able to see the beauty in absolutely everyone. Now, for most of you, you can do that to a certain degree, but what irks you is this, okay, how do we put this? What irks you is you have a lot of passion around understanding people's, even disabilities, people, understanding people the way in which they need to be seen. So it's been difficult for you, for people who, for want of a better term, we can just call ignorant for now, people who are obtuse, people who do not seem to want to seek outside of the norm, people who are projecting upon the outside and not looking for answers within. So these are things that have irked you in this lifetime, and this is what you're here to overcome and to understand. So things like religion, for instance, that are set up in a way where it's just God, and it's God is outside of yourself and you answer to God, and it's this ruler going, oh, you've been a naughty person, this, that, and the other, but you'll get all your riches in heaven. This sort of thing is not going to work for you. And people who do not take responsibility for their own actions and their own sort of mentality. This has been tough for you throughout your life. It must have been very difficult for you in the last sort of year and a half as we're going through this, and all the collective consciousness is coming to sort of, and quite rightfully so, sort of bubbling to the surface, and we're being able to see absolutely everything that's coming up. Where's it, you know, a lot of violence, a lot of selfishness, a lot of it, whatever it is, everything that's coming up, this sort of me attitude. and this sort of projection attitude. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, pal, too, and this is very, very important. The passion that you have, and you're not going to like this, and this might be a really big trigger for you, but we're just going to say it anyway. This is all of us. This is absolutely all of us. Whatever is that you see in others is there within yourself too. So yes, you've been working on yourself very differently. Yes, you've been doing that spiritual work. Yes, you've been working to take everything down and to dismantle. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. We're not going to take that away from you. However, there is a mirror and we are exactly the same. There is no difference between us and them. There is none, right? This is going to be a difficult concept for you one way or another, because you have this anger and you have this passion. You want everybody to be okay, almost to the point that, you know, you've got that martyrdom in you. You want everybody to be okay, and you're very protective over sort of the righteous, but not in a way that it's really sort of righteous. But yes, there's a universal right and wrong. There's a universal truth one way or another. But really, at the end of the day, there's no polarity. We give it that polarity in the 3D version of it, but it's actually the same spectrum. It's just different points on the same belt. But when we put the belt on, there's somebody in there, right? It's still the same belt. So the thing that you've had to realize is that everything that you're fighting against is within yourself also. But we want to be really clear here at the same time. You have done this work. And you are utilizing all of the gifts that you have, and you are understanding how you dismantle everything, and you are responsible for your own energy, to the point where you've been projected upon a good portion of your life, and you're the one that's been the better person. You're the one that's, you know, been responsible for your own energy when everybody around you hasn't. So we don't want to take that away from you in any way, shape, or form. You're doing this work. But at the same time, a lot of the separation that you felt in this lifetime needs to come back into, or will be coming back into center for you to understand. You're here to really understand that we're absolutely a community. Everything that you see in others is also in yourself. We are sacred mirrors. So you're here, really, believe it or not, and there's been a lot of differential sort of agreements and a lot of different stuff that's been going on in your head and body, and especially in the last 2 years, particularly in the last year and a half, the last year, the last 8 months. A lot of dispossessing, feeling dark, the dark energy, really bringing in that collective energy to try and take it on, to truly understand it. And there's nothing about you that's not passionate. There's nothing about you that doesn't want to get in there, dismantle, and figure it all out. But really, at the end of the day, the missing piece is understanding that we are all here and we are all exactly the same. Now, that's not to say that we're not at, you know, everybody's got different levels of where they can understand and what they're doing. We're not taking away from that. But at the same time, your basic understanding and really, really getting that in all of your chakras, in all of your cells, that there's no differentiation between them and us. There's no us. That's what you're here to learn. And there's so many angelic tests that you've been through the ringer in the last year and a half. And so sort of dismantling everything on a personal level, but being so dismayed about how this is working out in the sort of the cosmos and the chaos. But everything's coming to a head in a way that's actually quite exciting and actually quite beautiful. Now, if you allow yourself to really immerse yourself, not in the context of everything, not in the energy of everything, and remove yourself from the energy of everything, but in the energy of everything is going to be okay, and in the middle of the eye of the storm, in this beautiful sort of chaos that we have, Mother Nature has your back. Mother Nature knows what she is doing. Everything is being repurposed, repositioned, reacquainted. Up is down, left is right. That's just the way it is right now. Trying to make sense of it is not going to do anything. And with your analytical mind, that's what you're trying to do. Get into your heart space and don't take on every single point of view, trying to stretch it out, trying to get the reason behind it. That's going to alienate you even further into what's happening. So this is about you dropping into your heart I'm being at one with absolutely every single thing, every single person, every single point of view, everything that's ever happened. Now, for those of you who are a little bit triggered, that doesn't mean that it's okay to do this. It doesn't mean that it's okay to do that. There's still a morality sense of what you stand for. No one's asking you to put that out with the wolves. No one's asking you not to stand for anything. This is a level of acceptance that gives you your life back, that allows you back, that allows yourself, it's almost like you're bringing yourself from that point out on the precipice so you can try and make sense of this. But while you're trying to do that, you've taken yourself out of life. You're not integrated the way that you could be. What we want for you in this lifetime is for you to be integrated in society, for you to be integrated in your own mind, in your own heart, and also in your own community. And finding that real community on that level that stands with you no matter what, with your passion and with your beauty. Now, for some of you, you found elements of that. And you come in and out of that. You understand the level of commitment, you understand the level of community, you have that to a certain degree, but then your mind starts going this, that, and the other, and then you get triggered by something and you come out of it. This is a way for you to stay in that power all of the time. That power that is absolutely yours, connecting to the earth and what it is, and accepting everything at that level. Again, it doesn't mean, whoops, I'm sure this is picking up on the microphone. It doesn't mean that you don't want to make the world a better place. It doesn't mean that sometimes you're like, what is going on? But you take that burden and you hand it over to Mother Nature. That burden was never supposed to be on your shoulders, Paul, too. And it's time for you to give it back and for you to integrate back into this world. And this is a way for healing to happen. So we're going to bring in Archangel Raphael's already here. I'm going to send you some healing about integrating every aspect of yourself and just accepting the world as is without having to change it. Now, the way, and we want to be clear, the way in which you want to change it is for the better. The dismay that you have is because you have such a tender, beautiful heart. That is completely understandable. Everything that you've done and the way in which you're approaching this life in this lifetime is completely pure and beautiful. It's coming from a sense of gorgeousness. That's why you get dumbed down with this darkness and this heaviness where it's like mire and it's, you know, it feels like it's bog, it's bringing you down, right? It's not your energy. It's not for you to sort through. Focus on your own light and let the universe take care of it. It's being recycled in a new way. You're here to really understand where you start and where the universe takes over. You do not need to do this all on your own, pal, too. It's almost like you came in with this king and queen-like attitude, which is absolutely wonderful because you are extremely powerful. But then, nope, I'm not taking any help. Nope, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm ultra independent. I don't need anybody. I've got this. And the universe is like, all right, kid, go do your thing. You know, but this is hard, and it's been hard for you, and it doesn't need to be that hard, pal, too. It just doesn't. Give back the responsibility that you were never supposed to have, you were never supposed to be burdened with, and just come back into that integration and get back into that joyful place that you are in. And that's when you'll see everything start lightening up. Yes, there's a lot of chaos right now. We're not going to pretend that there isn't, regardless of whether this is a timeless reading or not. This chaos is going to be here for a little while. It's bubbling up to the surface, but beyond the chaos, there is this beauty that's developing. We want you back into that energy of beauty. We know you can sense it. We know you know it's there, and we also know that you're here in this lifetime to carry the torch, to shine a light on that beauty coming in. So don't get unearthed by everything else, and don't get into this whole us versus them thing just for you to figure out. You see, for you, you don't necessarily believe in the us versus them. You don't. But sometimes to differentiate your own energy and just to come back to yourself, because you take on so much energy, it's really important for you to understand who you are. And for you to do that, sometimes you do the us versus them so you can just outline your own energy. That's why you do it. It's a very specific thing. It's not as simple as I believe this and you believe that. You're actually open to all of that stuff. But it's, you know, the energy that you're taking in, it's almost a survival thing. All right, us versus them. Who am I again? All right, I stand for this, which means this person is this and this. And then it gets confusing for you. So throw out that mold. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. Just get hand over whatever was not meant to be, you know, take off those burdens from your shoulders and come back into that mirroring aspect, that sacred mirror, knowing that everything is absolutely the way it's supposed to be. You don't need to change it. Everything is fine. The chaos is there for a reason. There's beauty beyond the chaos. You know who you are. Everybody has a role here, and without their role we wouldn't have this and we wouldn't have that. That role may not be the best role, and if you're taking it out of context and we're saying, okay, this person is not a good person, they've done X, Y, and Z, you know, morality in this world, we can, in the human world, we can say that's not a nice thing to do. We can absolutely do that. We can judge that. We can definitely do that. But in the larger scale, there's lots of different things that are going on right now. So put all of that energy back where it needs to be. Not putting anything under a microscope. Let people do everything that needs to happen. Pull your energy back. Trust that it's a macro version. There's something bigger happening there. Give back the energy of needing to make everything okay, coming back to you so you can integrate yourself back into society. There's very much a Fool kind of energy coming in, new beginnings, but there's also a Hermit energy where you've brought yourself out because this is what you've needed to recover from the world. We don't want you to feel like you need to recover from anything. Give back what you were never supposed to take. This is never supposed to be a burden for you. We want you to enjoy your life. Let's get you some more information. See what you've got here. But the beauty of what you're doing is absolutely gorgeous. Now, this is a little bit strange, but you know, the way in which I do this is I don't filter anything. I try to be the purest channel that I am, and this may only be for some of you, but for some of you used to be clergy in a past life, either nun or whatever, and in a really beautiful way. I know there's, no disrespect to anyone, but who is religious, but priests and the church they don't have a great history when it comes to non-violence and things like that. You just have to look at the history of this country and Canada too, with what the priest did to the Indigenous kids and everything. Indigenous communities knew this for hundreds of years, but now everybody else is finding out about it finally. But but the purity that you had with clergy, you had this, for some of you, this real purity with you and God, with that Godhead, with absolutely understanding that communication of that beauty. So you aspire to that in this lifetime, one way or another, but again, not taking on the burden of the rest of it. So your communication with the universe, your communication with God is absolutely pure, and you want that beauty in this lifetime. You've carried on that energy in this lifetime. That just may be a message for some of you. So you would have given away, for some of you, and it's, given away, cut your hair, whatever, given away all your earthly belongings and devoted yourself to this life, this cloistered life. So for you, taking yourself out of society would not have been that strange for you to observe, for you to see, for you to deliberate. This is something that you've come from before. It's a natural way for you, but you weren't here. You're not here in this lifetime to not just deliberate, you're here to interact in a completely different way. So let's see what we have for you. Claircognizance here. Archangel Uriel. Pay attention to thoughts and ideas that come to you as they are answered prayers. So, and also relationship harmony. Archangel Raguel. We angels are opening the hearts of everyone involved. Arguments and conflicts are now being resolved, or are being resolved now. And that's what we said before. If there's any kind of conflict that's come in, it's being resolved as this energy in and around you is starting to be released. And also we want to, one way or another, we want to sort of highlight the fact that your communication with your own power head, with your God, with Source, the way in which, however you identify, is really pure and clear. It absolutely is. And for some of you, really seeing sort of this dark room with just, a candle as you're speaking, and your prayers manifest, you're excellent visualizers. It's just for some of you, you don't know what to, you're a little out of sorts of what you truly want, because you always put the needs of others first. So sometimes when you're trying to visualize what it is that you want, the needs of others come in too, and it's been cloudy for you to differentiate again between you and others. And for you, we want to remind you that if your energy comes first and you ask for what's in line for you and what you need, then you'll be able to help others and be much more of a service for others. So for you, you've had a life of service before. It's really about putting your energy first and honoring that pure communication that you have. But again, taking off this residual energy of needing to do everything yourself at the same time, and having and really utilizing this sort of unwavering, it's really strange, because at the same time you have this sort of unwavering faith that everything will be okay, but at the same time it's just it does waver. It's sort of strange. You have this very, very strong commitment to spirituality, but at the same time, with everything that's gone on, you can lose sight of it somehow, because of the energy sort of falters in and around it. You lose hope in humanity. You lose hope in where we're at and what we're doing. And again, you know, it's not for you to take on. So take off all of that burden. Give it back to Mother Nature. She knows what she's doing here. She absolutely does. And your mission is set too. Your blueprint is set. You've been activated within this blueprint. You know why you're here. So I'm feeling for you to bring in one more of these. So your opportunity for growth and for strength is to put your own energy first, but also to understand that thriving is part of a real community. Even when you're in a community, you can hold back a little bit. You're always trying to keep a little bit back for yourself. So and there's nothing intrinsically wrong with that, but we want you to really understand how it feels to be completely integrated into the world. That's what you're here to experience in this lifetime, to experience the absolute beauty of that, to be revered by others, to really understand what it's like to feel that joy constantly, to be part of that. You're actually here to really complete sort of your spiritual awakening in this lifetime. You came to this earth at this time to be able to do that, and you're ready to do that. Before, as we said before, for some of you, you would have had the cloistered lifestyle, and that's what you needed then. But this is about you being integrated, and you know, you have this personality where a lot of you are extremely introverted, and you may even resonate with being introverted. But honestly, when you are in sort of the prime, and when you're sitting around, you know, and you're feeling the vibe around people, you're animated and you're brilliant, you're mysterious and funny, and people want to be around you. So you're really not as introverted as you think you are, although you do love a lot of alone time. And you probably always need that because of the depth of your personality. You need to process on your own. You're not afraid of being alone. I mean, you are in a way, but you've moved through that. You also know that it's necessary. There's aspects of your personality that you were afraid of, I think, but you've integrated a lot of that for most of you. Let's see what we have here. Oh, yeah, Pile 2, rise. That's it. Rise into the version of you that's powerful and passionate and ready to be integrated into the entire world. There's a whole world out there for you to experience in this way, where you don't need to feel responsibility for it. And you can just let everything be and know that it's going to be okay, even if it looks bleak. There's a strategy behind this, and even though you are best buddies with God, there's no two ways about it. No one's saying that you do not have that connection, but sometimes God, as my mother used to say, works in mischievous ways, works in mysterious ways. You don't need to know everything ahead of time when things seem like they're falling apart. Getting back that faith and really just integrating that into your life, so you can just move forward with that security, knowing that everything's going to be good, and coming back into this sense of real community. You're here to really build communities. You're here to be loved for exactly who you are. You're here not to prove anything. You're here to be revered. You're here to use your gifts in a way that's absolutely beautiful and public. You're here to have a very public life, one way or another, Pile 2, and this is, you're ready for it. You're ready for it. So coming through all of this, is building you the strength and the grace and the wisdom to know when and where to believe in yourself and just to let things be and fall into place. Some of you may have felt as though you had control issues, you know, but you really didn't. You were trying to make everything okay, and you thought if you did it this way, you know, so from the outside it may have looked like you were quite controlling, but that really wasn't. That's only half of the coin. It doesn't really explain fully who you were, because there's an aspect of you that's so easygoing and not controlling in any way, shape or form. So that's not exactly correct. But when you got into that controlling energy, it's because you wanted everything to be okay, and you thought that you were in charge of making it okay, but you're not. You're not, and that's not your mission. You're in charge of making you okay. You're in charge of having a community and allowing yourself to be loved. So allow in all that beautiful energy, let it happen, and find that beauty in the chaos, which as alchemists, you're absolutely able to do, pal, too. Just sort of reach into it. Magical crystal cave. Switch on your inner light. Bring forward your gifts. Absolutely. What did we say about this? Moving out of this magical crystal cave. Now you can go back into that cave whenever you want, because you do need to go in and figure yourself out and have some time to yourself. You need time to recharge on your own, and that may never change, and absolutely stand by that. But in this beautiful magical cave with all of that beauty that you have, bring yourself out into this integration process here. You've already switched on your light. This is about you bringing forward your gift and rising on your own terms. Don't worry about the rest of the world. Don't worry about others. Don't worry about what they're doing, and don't be disheartened by any of it. It all makes sense. It all makes sense to Mother Nature. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. The most important thing is it's not on your shoulders anymore. Rise up and be you and shine your own light individually, and that's how you will see your light in every single other person, no matter what they've been through or what they've done. So that's what we have for you, pal, too. We are sending so much healing and love from Archangel Raphael for exactly where you are and who you are right now in the world. So we hope this resonated with you. Take care. Stay safe and sane until we meet again. Bye-bye. Right, beautiful, pal. 3, last but not least, if you chose the yellow feather, this is your reading. Quick shout out to Mother Nature. Not that she needs any apologies, but we have a little bit of a thunderstorm which started quite dramatically in Pal 1 and is going, and I have only a certain amount of time to do these readings today. So we are going to have this gorgeous reading right in the middle of a big storm here. So on that note, Pal 3, yep, there's the thunder. We have Archangel Raphael with us today for some extra healing and beauty channeling, but we are doing what angelic or spiritual tests are you overcoming, and what do they pertain to, what growth is coming out on the other side of it, why are they here, what are they strengthening, what opportunities. So we have a couple of tarot cards here. Of course, we've got the Unicorn Tarot. Then we will be moving on to our Oracle cards. And of course, as usual, we will be bringing in other information and supporting as much information as we can get you today with other Oracle cards on the side. So let's get right into your reading. So we have the 7 of Cups reversed, and we have the High Priestess. Wonderful. Check those out for you there. And then we have Nourish the Sacred Feminine. I love that. All right, so picking up very strongly today for you, the angelic or spiritual test that you are overcoming is being able to see the wood for the trees, pal, too, and coming back to a sense of self. You have this absolutely wonderful capacity for being able to, you're such intuitive empaths, to the point where you can actually take on other people's personas or pains or that sort of thing, like really very, very highly sensitive. So for some of you, figuring out where you begin and somebody else starts or stops, that's been a little bit difficult for you, especially when it comes to emotionality. But also on a much deeper sense, knowing what it is that you want. So for you, it's been It's about, and this may be a message for some of you, maybe not all of you, but for some of you, you've come in this lifetime to, and you're strong enough to do this, you're incredibly strong, to come in to deliberate, to revere and to cleanse out your bloodline. So there's so much that needed to be done in this lifetime with karma with you, so much. So for any of you out there, pal through, who are thinking, you know, you're late bloomers or this has taken so long, you have done such incredible work. Don't you dare say that to yourself. It's taken this long because of all of the work that you've been doing. And let me tell you, in your bloodline, you were the one to do it. You know, your ancestors had been leading up to you for many, many generations. You were the one to do it, and you took it upon yourself to do it because you're strong enough to do it. Now, there's many different things that are going on with this. These were angelic and spiritual tests for you too, because what happened with this, there was a lot of wanting, but not all of those wants were yours. So some of them were being played out by ancestors too. So it's about figuring out what you wanted versus what they wanted, but at the same time honoring that and moving on from it. So you but at the same time, it's kind of strange in a way, you have a very strong sense of self, almost stubborn. And the reason why you needed it to be stubborn is because you were doing everybody else's work. So you had to have some very firm foundation where you're like, no, this is me, you can't come here, you can't do this is my sacred space. So you could have been a very stubborn child, and there's an aspect of you that's still quite stubborn. And for those of you who have been doing some sacred work with inner child, you might find that your inner child is very stubborn, but they needed to be stubborn in that way to sort of deliberate and to really focus on your own energy versus your bloodline energy and what they wanted. So now, in your specific bloodline, for most of you, that may not resonate with every single one of you, but for most of you, the need to be seen and heard is running rampant sort of in the bloodline. A lot of your ancestors were not seen and heard in the way they were not, when they expressed themselves, they were not heard, they were not seen. And this is something that you have worked through in this lifetime too. To be heard and to be seen and to be acknowledged. Now, there's certain people in and around you, especially recently, where you're coming into this community. And if you haven't come into it yet, you will very, very soon. But a lot of you have started coming into a community relatively soon in the last couple of years, in and out, one way or another, whether it's online, but it's still there, where you are seen for who you are. And this is a wonderful thing for you. And this is something that you could absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, sort of relax into. And you were, if you were in sort of this element where you were able to heal in that circle, there would have been a hell of a lot of healing that could have been done in a relatively small amount of time, just because you were accepted for who you are. That was not always the case for you. So that's been your spiritual dilemma here, of reclaiming your soul and who you are, while also working with hereditary, also working with the bloodline and releasing what no longer serves, and also figuring out what you want and standing by that. So for some of you, there may have been some martyrdom where you felt as though you needed to do this, and that's because your link with your family heritage and clearing out that bloodline. Now, a lot of you have actually moved through that, and you are on you're either on the verge of completely clearing that bloodline, or you've done most of it. So what's happened, right? Now that you're on the other side of that, you're starting to see who you really are, where it's not focused. Whereas before you knew who you were, you had that stubbornness. So you held that aspect of self because you had to. It was yours. This is mine. You can't, this is me, this is me, this is me. And you had that stubborn, for some of you, you may have been children where your parents were like, oh, I don't know how to deal with this. You could have been like, I think that the term is black sheep of the family, but when you were born, you could have been very different to your siblings if you had them, or had parents who genuinely didn't know what to do with you because you were here to make a new world, and they were still in the sort of old paradigms. So there may have not been a clear connection, and they may not have been able to support you, sort of in various different ways that you needed. You've sort of done this work on your own, but again, you've been gearing toward this work for many, many lifetimes, and you knew you were going to take it on in this lifetime. but getting that support is something that you've just come in and around. So again, if you've done this sort of massive amount of healing, and being able to do it in these spaces, it's because these people see you for who you are. And also, this is a beautiful thing too. For a lot of you, you felt like you were the only one that felt this way, and you just weren't. There were many of you, but because of the way that you were brought up, because you were doing this work on your own with the bloodline, and again, the people that you were brought in and around with as you were growing up may not have had that sort of that real intensity like you did. You may have felt like you were a little bit of a freak, or just a little bit different, again, black sheep of the family. And they may have loved you for who you were, but they may not have been able to see you for who you were, and you felt that, very, very strongly felt that. So you did feel as though a little bit different. Communication may not have been there, only so much that you could divulge about your life and who you were and what you did. You know, can't really tell them about astral projection and what I did in my dream last night. They're going to think I'm crazy. But at the same time, there could have been a sort of a level of a certain amount of acceptance, but still be that wacky aunt or that wacky, you know, uncle. And that's fine. You were okay with that. But at the same time, coming into this sort of constituency where you've got people around you who see who you are, accept you for who you are, where you know definitively that you are not the only person in the world that's like this. In fact, there are many of us all over the globe. So this is something that you've been coming into, which is absolutely brilliant. But for you, it's about putting your energy first and figuring out what it is that you want. And again, differentiating between the wants of and the legacy of the family, and how that still pertains to you a little bit. Because there's an energy in and around you that does want to be seen and wants to be revered. But where it differs with your family wanted it from the outside world. There was validation that they were looking for. You're only looking to validate yourself. You're only looking to do this for yourself. There's an essence of you that doesn't give a flying F what people think of you. But at the same time, you've had this sort of weird dichotomy where you are stopped in your tracks when people don't see you for who you are and accuse you of being something else when that's not your intention at all, and that hurts you to the core. Now, it hurts you to the core because that was the family value. For you, you're like, well, if you don't see me, that's you projecting upon me. I'm not in control of that. I'm not in control of what you see and what you don't see. I'm coming to this with an absolutely pure heart. I know what I'm doing here. You can go and figure out yourself. So, but this was, you know, the two different sides of the coin that's been very difficult for you to juggle, because some of it you thought was yours and it really wasn't. But as you've been doing this work, you've been able to expel that and come back to yourself. And without going through all of this, you wouldn't know and have that strength of who you are and this determination to be just you. It would have been watered down slightly. So let's get you a little bit more information here. We're sending you some healing from Archangel Raphael too. You're here for communication, clear communication for who you are and what you represent, and you would be excellent lawyers. I'm not saying that a lot of you will want to be, but when it comes to, you can see every single point of view and you get to the point really quickly. So, you know, somebody will come to you and they will explain things for like 30 minutes. You'll be able to turn around in 3 minutes and give them everything that, yeah, this is X, Y, and Z. This is the way it is. And you'll be able to take all the points. You've got them right there. Your sense of communication is absolutely acute when you are grounded in your own energy and you're not outliving or outsourcing the energy from your bloodline. So if you're not on the other side of this just yet, you will be. You will be. Let's see what we got. Teaching and learning. Archangel Ezekiel. Keep an open mind and learn new ideas, then teach these ideas to others. So you've got that give or take teaching and learning, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. And understanding how that dichotomy of like knowing who you are, but taking on somebody else's energy and then sort of differentiating between those two models. And clairsentience, Archangel Raguel. Notice your recurring physical and emotional feelings as they signify divine guidance. So this is a way that you could communicate with your guides to figure out what was the sort of the macro element. So the bloodline versus what you're specifically here to do. Yes, you are here to figure out and to release the bloodline and have a clear understanding of moving forward. You are, but you're also here to without a shadow of a doubt, to complete your spiritual journey in this lifetime. You're absolutely here to be seen for who you are without any acceptance on your own terms. So there are a few different things that are going on for you here, and you're also here to teach others how to do that. So it's for you to come back into your sense of self, for you to be grounded into your own energy, for you to have that clear correspondence with your energy, with your guides. Your feelings and your emotionality tells you and teaches you exactly where you are. Your mind is not going to work for you in this lifetime. That's not to say that you're not practical. That's wonderful. There's a practical sense of you. A lot of you like lists. Go do it. That's wonderful. But when you're here to make decisions, when you're here to move forward, you're going to find that when you rely on your practical mind, it's going to upset you. It's going to move you in different ways. You're going to go back into that heart center, listen to that intuition, listen to that nudge, and move forward. I can tell you why. In past lives, you had very, very sort of centric brain, where you're just working in that element of the mind, of the practicality, and it really wasn't, you know, dealing with the emotions, just taken out of that. You know, we don't deal with that here. We don't do that here. So you're here in this lifetime to make sense of those emotions. You're here to learn to rely on them. You're here to come into that sacred feminine, to find your power within the sacred feminine and work your own magic within that. Now, practicality with the divine masculine, when it comes in, will prompt you into action and prompt you into aligned action. When you're out of alignment, the action that you take, you're just spinning your wheels. So it's really about you working with that magic that you have, but that emotionality is why you're here. You're here to make sense of it. You're here to really get in between it and understand it, get in bed with it, and just know who you are and do all that beautiful work. And that practicality, again, if you ever need to make any sense of your world, that practical mind will tell you one thing: come into that heart center, come in, allow yourself to be nudged by your own intuition and your own heart center. When you follow your heart in this lifetime, you literally cannot go wrong. However, the minute you start saying to yourself, I should be doing this practical way, I'm going to do it this way, you get yourself into this miserable place. And we'll tell you, that's coming from a place of your ancestors too, needing to move forward, needing to do things this way. But, you know, having to do things this way, there's no room for imagination. You know, emotionality is something that we don't deal with. We're not going to deal with this. And, you know, as you were growing up, you may have had parents or family members that weren't overly emotional, or overly emotional in ways that were inappropriate or didn't feel right because they didn't know how to deal with their emotions right. You may have been bought into that too, not for all of you, but some of you may have been, because there was that practical element to that bloodline that you have. So the minute you click into that, and that's part of the bloodline that you're cleansing, the minute you click into that, it's all gonna go haywire for you. Listen to your heart, listen to your soul. It's never, never, never going to set you wrong. Now, that may on the outside, even to some of your family members, might look a little bit weird. Your life on paper may look a little bit strange because it goes here, it goes there, it goes there, it goes there, and theirs goes straight up. And that's fine. There are a million different ways to live in this lifetime. As long as you're happy, you know what you're doing. But for you, if you're not listening to your divine magic, if you're not listening to your soul, if you're not listening to those beautiful nudges that, you know, and your feelings about anything, and you're not being guided by them, you will not be happy. You're going to go down that route. But for those of you who are coming out on the other side of this now, who are coming out on the other side of clearing your bloodline, that's not really going to be an issue for you. But coming back to yourself, celebrating you for who you are, and not getting rid of, but integrating and releasing all of those old modalities that lived in your bloodline. So beautiful, right? When you get to that point, so beautiful, because there was so much insecurity in your bloodline. There's a lot of insecurity in everybody's bloodline, but a lot. And it was projected upon you, and it was so much of a burden. It was like a shield that you used in this lifetime, but it was never really you. So getting back to you in this lifetime, getting back to that beautiful voice, that beautiful magic, and that gorgeous quirkiness that you have, getting back to that, yeah, go be you. So let's see what else we have here too. Feeling one of these coming up. What else do we have here? Step ahead is all you need. Absolutely. Moving yourself forward on your own terms with this freedom that you have, that you've earned with all the work that you've done, and really understanding, you know, that energy that you have. That really is, you see, the thing is that you're moving from this energy of your bloodline. As you've cleansed it, you're sort of the phoenix from the ashes, from the bloodline. You don't need to take on any of those insecurities anymore. So this new freedom coming in, this strength, this opportunity to have that freedom. You know, if you hadn't have gone through that before, you wouldn't have been able to celebrate it in the way that you are now. It's almost like your coming out party, right? Unstick the stuck, absolutely, and that's what you've been doing, and that's what you're doing. Also being able to see the wood for the trees, going for exactly what it is that you want, not what you think you should be going for, or settling for anything. That's something that you've done too, when that practical mind has come in. All right, I really want this, but let's go for that. Because, you know, we should probably do that. You know, bills need to be, yeah, they do need to be paid. No one's saying that they don't. But there's a way to incorporate all of it. So moving through that energy of cleansing that beautiful bloodline of yours and coming back to center. So let's finish off with a message from the universe, from the unicorns. And of course we have Archangel Raphael too, helping you with all of that healing from the bloodline. So regardless of what stage you're at with that, and these are general readings, so you'll all be at one stage or another of clearing that. But if this is resonating with you, Pal 3, you're very aware that that's what you're here to do. Not small work, not small work, absolutely not. And only somebody of your stature with the strength that you have and that ingenuity that you have too. Only you would be able to do this. Only you. So supported for that beautiful work. So here you go. Enter the magic. Live in the new. Seize the moment. That's it. This is your brand new beginning. Enter this magic, and that magic is you. You're fully supported in whoever it is that you are, leaving, you know, the old behind. Now, we want to be very clear. We have concentrated just a little bit and everything you've cleansed from the bloodline, but there is beauty and strength from the bloodline. And once you've cleansed, once that completely is cleansed and you're on the other side of that, of course, what is able to happen is all of that strength and beauty that just didn't really have that influx of community, wasn't able to really be as powerful as it could be. Once it's cleansed, that strength, that bloodline, especially from the female aspect of your bloodline, can come in and rise up. And that's going to rise up with you and support you in your magic as you live in the new. So they can still be there for you. Not all of them will be able to help you and will be able to stand by you, because some of them are still where they are. You've cleansed the bloodline, but they're not able to help you. But the ones that are strong, that are standing for you there, and there's the crazy energy there too, they're going to be able to hold the space for you as you move into this new paradigm. That is you and you alone, seizing the moment, being you. This is the moment that you have come down to earth for in this lifetime. This is you seizing the moment of who you are and really understanding who you are in all your gloriousness, brand new, absolutely gorgeous. So this is what we have for you, Pal 3. We are sending you so much healing and beauty, and of course love and support for exactly where you are and who you are, anywhere in the world. And you stay safe and sane. Take care, darling Pal 3s, and go be you in all of your glory. Until we meet again, bye bye.